What's up, team? So, on a lot of the form reviews lately, I've commented that you need to break the bar or you need to bring your elbows in on presses. So, let's talk about why that's important, and then I'll show you how to actually do it on both the flat press and the overhead press. So, first, it's important because creating tension in your shoulders is what keeps you stable, keeps you safe, and it keeps you strong. And the way you create tension in the shoulders is through what's called external rotation, or in this case, my thumb turning up. When you try to break the bar, which is this motion, you're naturally rotating the upper arms outward. This locks your shoulders into a strong, supported position. It engages your lats and prevents the elbows from flaring out too far on the press, which tends to be one of the number one causes of shoulder pain or irritation when pressing. So external rotation gives you a safer shoulder position, a stronger pressing base, a better control of the bar path, and more power out of the bottom of each rep. Now, let me show you what that looks like on the flat press, and then I'll show you how it applies to the overhead. Okay, so most of the form reviews I've done when I saw you doing any type of shoulder, or excuse me, any flat press with dumbbells, what I tend to see is the elbows flared out wide, almost in line with the shoulders. And what we want instead is to bring the elbows in to about 45 degrees. So first I'm gonna show you 3 reps with the elbows flared out wide. Then I'm gonna show you 3 reps with the elbows brought in a little closer where I would like them to be. So when you set up, the first thing you want to do, drive your feet in the floor, pull your shoulder blades back and down, and create a slight arch in your lower back. Now, the first 3 reps with the shoulders out wide will look like this. Elbows almost in line with the shoulders, back up to the top. Instead, what we would like to see is the elbows brought into about 45 degrees, so which is here. Notice the dumbbells are slightly rotated now. And then I'm going to actually think about engaging the lats and pulling the dumbbells down to my sides. Pause, explode to the top. And one more. All right, guys, so before I show you how to do it with a bar, I'm going to actually show you how to do it with the PVC first because it's a little easier to visualize. So pretend like this is the barbell, and when I'm telling you to break the bar, I am telling you to externally rotate your hands. This still applies to the dumbbells. Notice the position from the previous video or the previous shots where I brought the elbows in. But what I want you to think about doing is creating tension. If you can see, the bar is slightly bending as I'm doing that. That is breaking the bar. So you can't physically break the PVC or that bar, but it's the idea of creating that torque or tension in the shoulders that would break the bar if you're able to do it, right? So think about that when you're doing it. You're actually trying to rotate and bend the bar, even though it's not going to physically do it. So let's set up for the bench press, and I'll walk you through that. So like the other one, I'm going to do 3 reps incorrectly, and then I'll do 3 reps correctly. So whenever you're setting up for a bench press, the first thing to do is make sure that the bar is directly above your eyes. If it's too far this way, you're going to hit the J hooks or whatever you have on the way down. And if it's too far back that way, then the shoulder is in a compromised position as you go to unrack the bar. So make sure that when it's at the front of the J hooks, it's directly over your eyes. Walk the feet in, plant them in the floor, pull the shoulder blades back and down, create the same arch in your low back. When you unrack the bar, remember this first 3 is going to be without tension and elbows out. So I'm going to come out wide, elbows in line with, almost in line with the shoulders, back to the top. This also feels like a ton of work for the triceps. Now, when we create tension or torque, notice how my elbows rotated when I did it. Now, I'm going to lower the bar and think about pulling the bar down to my to my rib cage. Down, pulse, up quick. Notice the position of the elbows compared to when I was doing it incorrectly. All right, guys, so for the overhead press, the rules and setup are almost identical. It's just the angle's slightly different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 3 incorrect presses with the elbows in line with the shoulders, and I'm going to show you 3 correct presses with the elbows slightly in front of the shoulders. It's still applying the same ideas of tension and breaking the bar and creating torque through the shoulders. It's just a safer position, okay? The next thing is I don't tend to prescribe a lot of standing overhead press. I do some, but not just a ton. So most of it's done seated. And when we do it seated, I really like it because we can take the bench and we can put it 1 notch back from completely straight up and down. And what this does is allows the shoulders to be, or the shoulders to be in a much more advantageous position for pressing. So in this case, I've got my bench set one notch back. The dumbbells are on my knees. I'm gonna go ahead and plant my feet and create a slight arch in my lower back to get the dumbbells up, kick them up. And so for the 3 incorrect reps, I'm gonna press almost elbows in line with the shoulders, come back out wide. For the correct position, I'm gonna bring them in just a few inches and then start the press from there. All right, guys. So pressing overhead is virtually identical has virtually identical rules to flat bench press or incline bench press. We want to create the same tension and torque in the shoulders that we do when we're pressing in a horizontal position. So I'm going to show you 3 incorrect reps. I can't completely get my elbows back in line with my shoulders because I would hit myself in the face with the bar. But what I want you to see is that there is no tension in the shoulders. Okay. And then the next 3 reps, I'll create tension in the shoulders by trying to break the bar and then perform 3 reps there. Okay, let's go. Okay, no tension in the shoulders, not trying to break the bar. I'm just thinking about pressing overhead. Okay, now for these next 3, I'm going to think about breaking the bar and creating tension in the shoulders. Elbows will move ever so slightly forward, and then now I have a stronger base. Press overhead, and you can see, if you can see the difference, and I'll show you on the 3rd, where the elbows at the lockout are, it's completely different. So creating tension, the elbows are there. Not creating tension, it's there. Creating tension, not creating tension. All right, guys. So that's showing you how to do it with the 4 different movements using the combination of dumbbells and barbells. So the big thing to think about is we want to create a strong, stable base. Notice on all those, I told you to set your feet, set your upper back, create a slight arch, and before you ever begin to think about pressing. The second part is to create stability through the shoulders. In this case, it's by breaking the bar, externally rotating, bringing the elbows in, whatever the cue that you want to use is. But that's the key. Use that going forward.